Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate.
Is life symbolic? Maybe that's the big question we're going to explore today. Life can only be symbolic if it has a purpose. A symbol is a sign. It points toward something, guides us to an idea. But that only makes sense if we actually want to go somewhere. If life has a destination, if it's trying to lead us to the fullness of our human potential, then yes, it can create symbols, because a symbol is like an arrow pointing toward another world, something beyond. But those arrows only matter if you're willing to move in that direction. You have to be aware, awake, and willing to take that path. So there's a fundamental premise here, believing that the world is a cosmos, an ordered whole, and not just chaos. Believing that things don't just happen randomly, that everything carries meaning, that life is trying to take us somewhere, to the full expression of our humanity, with values, virtues, and wisdom. When you learn to speak the language of life, everything it expresses symbolically points toward that goal. In other words, life is intelligent, not random. It has direction. It knows where it wants to take us. And real symbols help guide us on that journey. Let's come back to that premise. If you believe the world is just chaos, that everything's accidental, then you'll never care about symbols, because a symbol can't show you a path if you're not going anywhere. Let me give you a simple example. If you want to build a house, you hire an architect who draws up a plan. Then a builder, an engineer, everyone follows that plan because they know what they're building. Without a plan, the builder would just scatter materials around and end up with nothing. We're the same way. If we don't have a purpose, a direction, our energy gets scattered in all directions. We live in a distracted, unproductive way. That's why life needs two key elements, purpose and intelligence. Only then do the symbols start to make sense, like road signs guiding you on a highway. When you truly want to become your best self, you start to understand the symbolic mindset, and you begin to see how all the symbols point to that ideal. That's also how you learn to tell the difference between a real symbol and a personal fantasy, something we might just make up. There's a thin line there, and we need clarity to know if we're interpreting a real symbol or just chasing illusions. That clarity is essential. The theory of responsibility. This is a concept I connect with Stoic philosophy, especially the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. You've probably heard of Stoicism. It's had a big revival lately. In a time of moral crisis like ours, people naturally turn to the moral schools of the past. Stoicism is everywhere these days, even in books about personal finance. It's trendy now, entrepreneurs wanting to be Stoics. Marcus Aurelius has a quote I call the theory of responsibility. He said, "Nothing happens to any man that is not human destiny." In other words, nothing happens to me or to you that doesn't somehow reflect who we are. Nothing shows up in your life by mistake. The events that come your way show up because you need those experiences. It's as if each of us came into this world with a coded card, a blueprint, with exactly the right experiences we need to grow. If your path is to learn how to overcome depression, anxiety, or get your life organized, life will draw in just the events you need for that growth, like a magnet, pulling in the experiences you need to go through. That's why there's no such thing as chance. Some people believe in bad luck. But think about it. Why would a human being be cursed with bad luck? What's the logic behind some cosmic lottery to make everything go wrong? It just doesn't make sense. Life doesn't make mistakes. Life is a teacher. It's always showing us something. Even when we don't like what's happening, it's still trying to tell us something. It's not bad luck. It's a pattern repeating itself, trying to point us to a new path. Life is symbolic, and learning to read that language is essential. Let's go a little deeper into this idea. something that relates closely to the work of the well-known psychiatrist Carl Jung. In his analytical psychology, he talked a lot about synchronicities, but the symbolic language of life is even bigger than that. Imagine I'm trying to tell you something, but you don't want to listen. I try again, ask for your attention, try different ways, but you keep looking away, acting like it's not meant for you. Eventually, I lose patience. I grab your shoulders and shake you. Listen to what I'm trying to say. That's a synchronicity. Life tried to speak gently to you, but since you didn't listen, it had to get more direct. When something intense happens, pay attention. That's life shaking you. It already gave you subtle signs before, but you didn't notice. And that's how life works. It starts soft, then it gets louder. But the symbols aren't only in the big, dramatic moments. They're also in the smallest details of everyday life. There's an old Eastern saying, if there were a single moment in your life with nothing to teach you, it would have already been removed from your path. Nature doesn't waste time. Everything has something to tell us. The view from your window in the morning, the way the rain falls, the sounds of the day. Everything can carry meaning if you stop to notice. I love to tell this true story. I was standing in my backyard after it had rained. The cement had little dips, and dirty water pooled in the low spots. I was trying to sweep the water toward the drain, but it kept flowing off to the sides. And suddenly I thought, my mind is just like this. If I don't have direction and effort, it flows toward the lowest, dirtiest spots. Without awareness, it takes the easy route, usually the shallowest one. Look at that, just a dirty puddle turned into a lesson. Life is always speaking to us. You take a chair, for example. It has 4 legs, balance, and a seat that holds you. Generosity, support, balance, and generosity. How beautiful is that? A chair teaches you that. Now imagine bringing those 2 qualities into your life. What kind of person would you become? Someone grounded and giving. Just like a chair offers rest to the tired, comfort to the worker, and a place for family to gather for a Sunday meal. Now you get it? A staircase teaches something else. Everything teaches. Everything is a symbol. A symbol doesn't have just one meaning. Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, a 19th century philosopher, said, "Every symbol is a house with 7 keys. As you mature, you unlock new doors. You access deeper levels of the same symbol. Read a powerful book today. Put it away. Now read it again in 5 years. If you've grown, you'll see meanings you missed before. It's not that the book changed. It's that you did. Your awareness moved. And with that, you accessed more layers of the symbol. According to Blavatsky, this can happen up to 7 times until you reach the heart of the symbol. The more we go inward, the closer we get to the world of ideas, the spiritual, the divine. But even at first glance, every symbol has something to say. You just have to want to hear it. You just have to look at life through the eyes of a student. And then, suddenly, life itself starts speaking to you.